Good afternoon, Triple S members. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day so far. I want to thank everybody for joining us on another episode of Triple S Live. I'm your host today, Brett Battaglia with Triple S. Today we have the team at Fresh Products who will talk about how to become your customer's destination of choice for odor control and air freshening, as well as go over some of the new product offerings that they have that can redefine how to create a positive first impression. If you guys have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to ask at any time. We have a question and answer chat down at the bottom, and I'll do my best to address any questions along the way. Since this is being recorded through a Zoom meeting format rather than a Zoom webinar, I do ask that everybody stays muted unless you have a question, just so we can eliminate any of the background noises. And as always, this will be recorded and will be put up on our members portal by the end of the day. So with all that stuff out of the way, I would like to hand the floor over to Fresh.
All right. Hey, thanks very much, Brett. I appreciate it. And again, we do want you to be the destination of choice for all things air care and odor control. And we do feel that we have the correct offering to be able to do that. And simply stated, I always say, if you can simplify your message, that makes a big difference. And I like to use simple words. And so I say, what we do different than everybody else is we make spaces smell great that typically don't. And a lot of times our customers don't even realize that some of the spaces that they just put up with being bad smelling don't have to be. So the process that we're going to use today is our overall objective is if we can improve user experiences, there's a bunch of downstream effects on this. It obviously reflects very positively on our customers, their customers' bottom line, and employee retention, customer return visits, and ultimately their success as a business. So I like to say there's no better use of, there's no better use of spend. A small increase in spend in odor control and air freshening often results in a much, much higher perceived value and benefit and perception of clean. And these days, people really do notice what's clean. And the pandemic has taught us, if nothing else, that it's important to be clean and fresh. Okay, so this is the process we're going to use. So our goal is, again, to improve the user experiences, but what do we want to do? We want to increase our sales, profit, revenue, and our customer value, because the customer value is what has them coming back to us a second time and a third time so that we become that destination of choice. So in order to do that, what we want to do is say, hey, here's what our current offering looks like, and here's the additive selling opportunities. So we have a couple of different ways to go about that. We have premium products that upgrade, and people say, wow, I didn't realize this was possible in a commercial setting. And they don't even ask what the price is. We also have a value offering where people are hyper-focused on price, and we can offer them a much, much better product at a much lower cost and give them something they didn't think they could get at the price point they're at. And if it's a lower cost to you, then obviously you enhance your margins and your sustainability of being able to sustain that competitive price in the market. And lastly, expanded market opportunities. These are things that nobody is asking for, where we have some solutions that expand the size of market, or you could also say that a premium upsale expands the size of the market as well. What we notice is that odor control and air freshening is growing 3 to 5 times faster than the JanSan category, if you can believe that. And the reason is it's a tiny spend and it's a huge perception of clean, like we talked about. And the best part of all is all of these products that we're going to talk about are available through all 3 RDCs. And so it's very easy for you to get 1 case at a time with your weekly Triple S deliveries. And also, if you happen to be a direct purchasing, work for a direct purchasing member, you can also get all of these things on a direct purpose. So moving along, so we're going to position what is our top 2 selling urinal screens. Now, the 30-day Surge 3D is the #1 selling product worldwide in the category. It features 90%, 98% splash reduction. So if you're a guy, that sounds pretty good, right? But if somebody says, hey, I have 90% splash reduction, what does that mean? That means that's 5 times as much urine splash because it's 10% urine splash, right? Or 80% would be 10 times more urine on your pants. So that's not particularly good. 2 to 3 times more fragrance in the competition, and it has been billions of beneficial bacteria. But here's something we rarely think about. In the RDC, we have up to 10 fragrances. Now, there's 10 fragrances in the East, and there's 8 in the West and in the East. But in any event, very, very few of our direct purchasing customers have more than 4 different fragrances that they offer. So here's an opportunity, one case at a time, for you to offer a much broader array of fragrances. This is a product you currently buy and sell, most of you. So we also have a 60-day product called the Surge Boost, a much bigger deal in the West because there has been a competitor out running around talking about a 60-day. What we offer in the Surge Boost is biggest, thickest, heaviest, 5 times more fragrance, reduces labor, of course, by 50%, and billions of beneficial bacteria, 6 fragrances stocked. Both of these products are patented so that nobody else in the industry has this level of performance, whether it's splash design. And well, who cares whether it's 2-sided or not, Pat? Well, here's the story. If your customer puts it in upside down, then it's a splash pad. It's 100% splash back, right? So having it 2-sided, it can't be loaded wrong. High fragrance content and out indicator system. So the first thing, we can offer a premium upgrade to a Tsunami up the back urinal screen. So now if you're peeing into the back, of course, if you're my age, 60 plus, that's not necessarily a problem. But if you're a male in your 20s, you maybe have a different spray array, as it were. Okay, it works very, very well. It's available in 4 fragrances, as you can see outlined. And I'm going to take a moment here to show you a quick video on this because I think it is a pretty good way to see what this product offers. So we really like this product, and if you there's a competitor out there that has a bunch of product they're out selling. What they don't have is connectivity. What they don't understand is that when you have to clean a urinal every single night and apply suction cups times 2 or 3, it becomes a maintenance nightmare. And you saw the out indicators being used there. So those are the item numbers in the RDC. Afterward, we're going to send you a flyer that has all this information on it, so you don't have to write all this stuff down. And again, if you have any questions, you can put them down and I'll answer them at the end. So let's talk about one of the pieces of this, which is fragrance content. So we're going to talk about the Surge because it's just the 30-day, it's the biggest seller. So all of these competitors, you may or may not recognize them. This is the comparative of fragrance versus the competition. So about 2.5 to 3.5 times as much fragrance is available, which means it lasts an entire month. If you don't have enough fragrance to last the entire month, it takes multiple screens to get through the month, or it simply doesn't work and it simply doesn't get repurchased. That's an important thing. If the product doesn't perform, people don't repurchase things that do not work. And so if we're trying to grow the category, we have to provide something that works. So this is fragrance content. More fragrance is good. Now, I don't know about you, I feel like less splash, especially when it comes to urine, is better. It's better for my pants. It's better for me explaining to my wife when I come out of the restroom at a restaurant. And it's better for the cleaner who has to clean up the mess that's on the walls and on the floor. This is a visual of the amount of more splash that you get with the various competitors. So it's imperative. So in this case, less is better. On this presentation, which will be available to you, there's also a link that talks about all the benefits similar to the tidal wave. I'm not going to show you that video right now. Now, what we're going to talk about is the new No Splash urinal screen. It is a 30-day Triple S branded, two-sided splash reducing urinal screen. So when we're talking about splash reduction, it's going to be more than the Wave 3D, right? It's going to be, but way less than the Eclipse, which is pictured right below it. So it is much better than competition on that area. And the great news is it costs 20% less than all of the competition. So if you happen to have in stock some low-priced, value-priced screens that don't belong to Fresh products, you can now, at the RDC, one case at a time. And oh, by the way, what's one case? It's 10 urinal screens. So now you can replace all that bid business with this, save the customer money, and provide better performance. The fragrance load is going to be greater than or equal to the competition. So when we go back and look at fragrance load, we're going to be in the neighborhood of competitor one here, certainly not as good as the Wave 3D, right? But you're going to be saving the customer versus the Wave 3D about 35%. Versus the competing cheap screen, you're going to be saving them 20%. So if you can't, always the best solution is to sell the Surge because it performs and it works. It's available in 4 fragrances and it's easy to access. You can buy it direct or you can buy it through the RDC, 10 in a case, super easy. And it does have the patented urinal splash reducing. So here's a quick, this is like an 8-second video. So there's 2 of the competitors that on the splash were pictured, the top 2, and you can see, I'll run real quick. So you can see how much more urine splash is coming off competition. And the toughest part of that testing is to turn the urine blue. That was a joke, by the way. We don't really use urine. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is putting Triple S branding on the Our Fresh dispenser. So this has been a running change. So when you order the dispenser from the RDC, you can order this one with the Triple S on it. You just use this item number. You can also buy this direct. We are printing these, we're providing them at the same price. This is fantastic because it creates a sense of brand ownership in the marketplace. Why Our Fresh? Upscale fragrances and upscale dispenser, no acetone, malodor removal. It releases a lot more fragrance and it's better air quality. Acetone is nail polish remover, and that's what is in metered aerosols. In the central part of the country, 2/3 of the market is still using metered aerosols. Now, on the coast, it's more like 25 to 30% of the market. And as you move central, it approaches 50%. So again, a huge part of the market is still buying metered aerosol. And this is the alternative that we want to offer. This is premium, but when you show this, customers don't ask for the price because of the upscale fragrances. Now, metered aerosol, how does it work? It fires once every 15 minutes. It's way too strong, which is depicted on the left. And Less than 5 minutes later, it's way too weak. You can't even smell it. And then it's way too strong, way too weak, way too strong, way too weak. Now, with the Hour Fresh, we have smart chip controlled fan, does not run all the time. It runs sparingly at the beginning of the month. And as you need to draw more fragrance, so you have this just right fragrance release. So this is an hour by hour release on the left and a day by day on the right. Obviously, you get a lot more fragrance on day one when it first comes out of the package. So it kind of sets the message. And then day by day, and we're comparing ourselves to metered aerosol. Why? Because it's the #1 product form, air freshener wise, in the marketplace. So we always want to lead with this product. It's Triple S branded. You can buy it direct or through the RDC. It's premium. Now we have Easy Breeze and Surpass. Surpass, no batteries. So the Hour Fresh comes with batteries inside the package, so the customer always has it ready to use. And then the Easy Breeze, we always say that comes with a battery. It's the one on top, where the cover is the air freshener, and that makes it very easy. That's more of a value price. That's going to be comparably priced to anything else that's into the marketplace. So you have a nice offering of premium and value. And again, all of this stuff is sustainable because we can close loop recycle it. They can throw these refills directly in the recycling. So I thought what I'd do is on the active side, because Easy Breeze isn't active, it does have a fan. How is it priced? Why do people buy it? And who should I be targeting? First of all, I would target everybody I could with Hour Fresh. However, Easy Breeze, it's going to be comparably priced to metered aerosols, right? It'll be continuous because it has a smart chip fan as well, but it won't have as many high-end fragrances, and it'll also have the out indicator. However, low cost and high fragrance, and then hidden in plain sight. So when you go to a school district and you're looking in the classrooms or in the hallways where kids are going to be present, this is what you would place. In the teacher's lounge, the Hour Fresh would work terrific, and every school has tons of volunteers, and the Hour Fresh in the admin areas is a perfect solution. So if they can't put any air fresheners out in the school itself, right, then Hour Fresh in the admin areas is a good solution. But again, upscale, highest performing, people don't even bat an eyelash. If you want your volunteers coming back to your school to work in the admin areas to get away from those teenage smelly people, then that's what you want to do. When you talk about the #1 passive air care system, this is it, Surpass. Why? Because there's no batteries. It's very simple. And you know, again, it's a little stronger on day one and not quite as strong at the end of the month, but it's very simple, low cost dispenser, and that's the purpose of it. It also fits all of these other 60-day, what I'll call cup in wick systems. Now, I promise you that we would look to expand the market opportunity, and this is the Scent Strap, and it's designed to work around the vent of a porta potty toilet. So this is actually in stock only in the West, only in cherry, but it is an extra opportunity. I'm not suggesting this is the biggest opportunity there ever was, but there certainly is a large opportunity with regard to that particular market. So if you do a bunch of work with porta potties, that's a good solution. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start with the Scent Strap. So this is these are the point of sale material that we're going to be sending off to you at the end of the meeting, because we're going to have your emails. So this is the Triple S Scent Band. So you can see that here. Now this is stocked in cherry only, and that's the item number, only in the West. So if you want this stocked anywhere else, all you need to do is fill out a stocking request, send it into Gianna's team, and that will get done. So I wanted to show some of the other pieces of flyer. So I'm going to start with the full line flyer. So this is a nice piece because it outlines everything. So you have the Hour Fresh dispenser with all of the item numbers. And so what we've done on the Hour Fresh, The dispenser has a new item number because it's Triple S branded. And then the refills have retained the same numbers so you can easily get it and it's not creating an issue. Our Fresh E is, so our Fresh, these are the fragrances that are stocked in the RDCs. And the biggest placements of this is in the central, followed by the west, and the east has the least number of fragrances in. If you want an additional fragrance stocked, give us a call, let us know. We will help work with you. Our Fresh is not in the RDCs. The My Fresh is in the RDCs. Surpass is in the RDCs. Ecotex Bowl Clip for the ladies' restroom is in the RDCs. The deflector with Terminator, I'll cover if we have enough time. That is it kills germs that cause odors. And again, coming out of the pandemic, that was a big deal. Here's your 10 fragrances of Surge 3D. And of course, your Surge Boost 60-day. And here's your Tsunami in 4 fragrances, right? And the No Splash urinal screen in 4 fragrances stocked in every single RDC today. We also have urinal mats in BioBuddy, which are fantastic at preventing any urine splash getting moved around and then removing urine out of restrooms, and competitively priced versus anything in the marketplace. So this is a great all-in-one flyer. We do have a Triple S, Our Fresh flyer. This is specific to the No Splash urinal screen. Again, I would still sell every opportunity I had, the Surge and the Surge Boost. But if you have a situation where you're tied into a price point, this is a great solution to get somebody upgraded from a competing product. So let me see if I can get this. That's a Tsunami. I don't know what that one is. Oh, and this is the Scent Band, which is where I started. So that kind of concludes the presentation portion, but I do have an opportunity to answer questions. So if you have questions in the queue, somebody could share those with me. I'd be happy to answer any of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Pat, for taking all that time to share that information with us. Like you were saying, if anybody had any questions, now would be the time to do it. I'm also going to launch a quick poll if you guys could take a second to answer that question, just so we can get a better idea of who to reach out to after the presentation. That would be fantastic. And Pat, is there anything that you would like to kind of leave members with today? Just a final thought, or just anything that you think that they should really kind of capitalize on from this presentation?
Yeah, just the number one thing you can do for a customer to propel yourself forward is come in and show a sample. And we have a very liberal sample policy. And what we'd like to do is provide everybody on this call with some samples of the newer items and some of the things that we talked about. We will email you the flyers, but just recognize that every single customer that you call on is an opportunity to expand your presence, because there's a low probability that they have all their problems resolved. Not everybody is ready every time, but again, what we find is most people are disappointed with the way that it smells in different parts of their facilities. And if you give them the opportunity, I would just say this: rather than telling somebody they have an odor problem, a good way to do it is to ask a question. And Brett, this is the question that I would ask. Out of your last 10 visits to a public restroom, when you were not in your home, right? When you're not in your home, how often did it smell bad versus how often did it smell good? So by asking this question to somebody, what we hear is their answer. So if they say, hey, half of the time it's bad, half of the time it's good, what they've just told you is they perceive that this is a pretty significant problem. What that really means is half the market's disappointed with how it smells in a restroom. And then the logical thing is, it's like, well, how do you feel about in your particular facility? Or logically, they'll say, so it's an industry problem, it's not their problem. So you're getting their commentary on what they think the problems are in the market. So now you can have a discussion. Oh, where is it the worst? Where is it the best? How are you doing with yours? And then they're going to tell you, if you go in and tell somebody, hey, you need to buy this new splash reducing urinal screen, you just insulted them saying, hey, you haven't done a good job of choosing last. Or, hey, we have a new product. Wonder if this would be valuable to you, would be a better way to introduce it. So those are just some of the basic stuff. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, for sure. We did have a question that came through. So somebody's asking if we had any options that compete with the Door Pod.
The door pod is a passive unit, and what I would use in that case is a curve. And I'm pretty sure that the curve, maybe Becky can answer that question. But we do have a curve, and if you just send a note and say, hey, send me some samples of that, we'd be happy to send that along. So that would be the curve. And let me,
curve, or if you wanted to
check.
spend, if you want a dispenser-based one, the Eco Air would absolutely, between the Eco Air and the Curve, you get a better performing and a like performing. So you could have a cost savings or a premium product in both of those.
Yeah, I would also, if you're going to go dispenser, I would also send a MyFresh, because that's going to
Or MyFresh, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I would send a MyFresh, a Curve. It is probably what I would send. Because again, with the MyFresh, you can just, it's a very small dispenser. The refill costs about the same, refill with battery costs about the same as a Surge 3D urinal screen. So it's going to hit the price point of a Door Pod, but it's going to be much, much more effective. So again, I would say Curve from a passive perspective, or MyFresh. So yep. Is a Surpass Curve, so it is in stock. So thank you very much for that, Becky. I saw that note coming back, so she can send that once we have the address. Good. Thanks for the question.
As of now, I don't see any questions, but I'll give it another 10 seconds, see if anybody can think of anything. And if not, you can always reach out afterwards to either at our info line at info@triple-s.com or to the good people at Fresh directly, and we'll definitely get back to you as soon as possible with a solution or an answer. But for now, I just want to thank you guys again for joining us on another episode of Triple S Live, and I want to thank Pat and the people at Fresh Products for being part of the session. And we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks again.
Thanks, Brett. Really appreciate